My friends, it is time. I extend my hand, inviting you to step with me into fantasy. Release your hold on that which you know to be true, and let imagination rule for the next few hours. Welcome to Session 3. Last time, after glimpses into some weighty moments in the private lives of some of our adventurers, you all gathered once again at the Elf Song Tavern before making your way to the Frolicking Nymph bathhouse. Once there, it did not take you long to discover the reported secret door leading down into a partially flooded dungeon of old sewers and even older catacombs, where the cultists of the Dead Three, Bane, Bhaal, and Myrkul, made their lair. But the question is, do you try to find Kalimjaso again and get him safely out of the dungeon before you take your rest, or do you want to take your rest first?
Let's at least make known to him the way out. If he chooses not to take it, then that's his own fate, but at least we've given him a means of escape.
Though I suspect him to be less than completely innocent, leaving him alone, he's already been captured and tortured once.
You think they've broken him to their will?
I can practically hear his squeals from here. I'm concerned that he may be under attack even as we speak.
It's probably him just trying to eat the rations we gave him.
All right, what is the decision?
Fine, I'll take charge of this. I head out and head back towards.
Okay.
If anyone wants to join.
Keep watch on where we came from, perhaps. Maybe another come with. I can go as well. You can't see very well here, can you?
Actually, I can see quite well as of late.
Really? That's fascinating. But, anyhow,
I'll take any help I can get. And then I'm heading over, or heading back.
You open the door and head back into the hall. How do you intend to move? Do you wish to move quietly, or do you wish to go as quickly as you can?
Yeah, I'm going to try and move quietly, which is not
What
something I'm.
kind of armor are you wearing?
I have heavy armor on.
Heavy armor. All right, so
Yeah.
roll that stealth check with disadvantage. And who is going with you?
Typhon.
All right, Typhon and Dorin, off you go. Roll those.
Oops. Oh man.
Oh well.
21 to 6. All right.
You have never felt like your body has moved with such grace, carefully putting each step on the floor. But as you do, there's a that accompanies each step, just kind of like a a cowboy wearing spurs. And you head out. If you would care to move your tokens where you want.
Okay, so there I am.
Here you go.
I'm just gonna make my way back there.
Dorin and Typhon, do you wish to discuss anything on your way to Klimjaso?
I have my own ways of seeing in the dark. I assumed you did not until recently. What can I ask how you are able to?
Well, I'm of a kind that has a few abilities, as it were. Perhaps we can discuss it a bit later, but I can see just as well as you, I think.
Right, you have moved through the foul-smelling room filled with sewer gas.
How terrifying!
Indeed, sewer and glass. It's just horrible combination. And you are moving into the room where you fought the Baneites. And the far edge of the room is the altar. You do not see Jasso. What is your passive perception, Dorin?
Oh, passive perception is 11.
And yours, Typhon.
10.
Right. You don't see him.
Perfect pair. All right.
Should we check the
Let's-
passages leading in here quickly, just to make sure we're not beset upon immediately?
I know there's a door over here. Let's check and make sure he didn't go that way first, and then check back our original path. So I'm gonna move over here.
Okay.
Just make sure he's not like at this door. The door is not open. His
The
corpse
door
isn't
is not
halfway in the
open. You
door.
come to those
Okay.
steps. Those steps lead up out of the water. The door
Yeah.
is not open.
All right.
I was
Typhon,
going to
go
look
ahead.
this way, just to
Yes.
check.
As you step there, Dorin, now could you move back to where you were just a moment ago? You hear coming from behind the altar.
I pause.
There were 6 of them. There were 6 of them. They went that way. Oh, it's you. Oh, hello. I've been sitting here quietly. Have you returned to
Yep.
take me home?
Well, it seems we're going to be down here for a while longer, so we decided to at least take you back to the surface.
If you take me home, you'll be rewarded.
I doubt it.
You can't just put me out into the street. I have no clothing. I have no bodyguards. I'll be murdered as soon as I take 2 steps down the street. Is it
Well-
nighttime?
How is
Is it
how is he
nighttime?
dressed?
Yeah, I was just wondering that
he's,
too.
he's in rags. It looks like anything he had that was of value was stripped, and he's just wearing his underclothes, which have been torn, and he's looking a little better thanks to Silas's lay on hands, but he still is quite bruised and beaten up. He's a torture victim.
If you keep your mouth shut, no one will mistake you for anyone of any particular worth.
Quite right.
I do want to get out of here, so very well. Lead me to the exit.
All right, I'll take the lead.
All right. And we will just do a little hand waving here. You do not encounter anything on retracing your steps. You are able to get Glim to the bathhouse. He has managed just to find some towels and some of the perfume, and he dabs it on himself, wraps himself up in towels, and well, thanks for nothing. And he walks out the door.
I already don't care about this man.
You make your way back to the dungeon and eventually back to your little crypt. The whole affair took about 20 minutes. Now that they've returned, what would you like to do?
We are instantly ambushed by our companions. Oh, no. Shall we continue resting here? Does anyone need it?
I say we keep going. The sooner we're out of this sewer, the better.
All right.
Silas,
Go.
how are your wounds?
I am quite fine, thank you.
Now, this would be, if you do not take the rest, then we will be removing the hit dice that you spent at the end of last game.
Oh, I thought this was after
No.
that short
this
rest.
No, we are.
Then
You have
I didn't
eliminated
say
one
that.
of the threats. You have eliminated one of the threats to the short rest. Now the question
it.
is: do you want to take the short rest that you had originally planned to take at the end of last session?
Yeah.
That's a lot of head nodding. Okay, so you get the short rest. Those of you who spent hit dice, you gain those hit points. Do you wish to do the Song of Rest, Persephone?
Yes, I did do
right.
that.
I would like you to either roll a skill check with your instrument of choice using dexterity to see if you are able to play quietly enough and still achieve the effects of the Song of Rest.
Is there any?
Or I will also give the option you can roll perception at roll performance at disadvantage. So either a skill check on your instrument with a high DC, or disadvantage on performance.
Is there any way we could sort of muffle up the door, stuff cloaks around the cracks or whatnot to make this a little less audible from the outside?
That's certainly possible. What do you have with you?
Let's all look at our inventories.
I barely have clothes.
If we were to
I
take
have a
our
disguise kit, so we could take some of my
If we were to
costume
take our-
and wear-
bedrolls and put them up against the door,
Truth.
Indeed,
Yes.
and the cloak and such, just kind of stuff them around.
and then we'll have just Rhimb sit against it, and that'll be fine.
All right. Do you do this?
Yes.
Yes.
Excellent. I won't ask for a check for this. It's a fairly simple procedure, and very well done. Now the DC has been reduced. Do you wish to do the skill check with your instrument or performance at disadvantage, Professor?
I think performance. Professor Persephone. I think I'm gonna do performance at disadvantage.
Excellent. Roll it. Very unfortunate.
Oh no! Wait, that's not what I choose.
Okay.
I think that I'm getting out my liar, but I actually
No,
get out my
you get out your
trumpet.
lyre, and yes, and you begin the short rest. You begin the Song of Rest, and the Song of Rest does take place. However, you're playing a little bit more loudly than I think you would want to. Just a second.
Ooh, so sorry.
Yeah. Do a little rolling here. That said, nothing untoward seems to happen. So
Nice.
that is a short rest plus Song of Rest. An hour and 11 minutes has gone by because Typhon also used the ritual cast of Identify to identify the magic beans. So, I believe we are all prepared. What do you want to do?
Do we want to continue down this path? I mean, we're right here. There's this door,
Yes,
there's
that-
other doors elsewhere, but
That makes good sense to me.
I would prefer to avoid the gaseous chamber we just walked through, so...
You mean glacious.
It's pronounced egregiously.
It was very dilapidated in that room.
Oh, God! Ugh! You're hitting me in the heart spots. Okay. So we have Silas, Dorin, Persephone, Typhon, Falkrunn, and Rhimb. All right. Do you open the door, Silas?
If it is able to be opened, I do check it first.
Oh, make an investigation check, please.
An investigation check to turn a doorknob. Welcome
Well-
to Dungeons and Dragons.
Just remember,
All right. Were you checking it for traps or anything? Okay.
if you are worried about any doors, I can look at them for you, but only if you're worried about.
The knob turns, it's not locked, and you did not see any traps. So I'm sorry. I was assuming that was a check for traps, but you're not checking for traps.
Oh, not my skill set, no.
All right. You open the door and reveal a small room. The walls and floor of this room are covered with streaks and splashes of dried blood. Two dangling bodies are shackled to the east and south walls. One moment, please.
Oh, I'm dead.
Why are you dead?
Oh, there we go.
Oh. Yes, got it. One is an elderly male human, the other a young female tiefling. Both are covered in bloody gashes, and neither is moving. In the middle of the room is a sturdy wooden chair with a bloody whip draped over it. A bucket, half filled with salt, sits on the floor nearby.
Interesting.
I immediately go to check them to see if they're still alive.
Who do you check first?
I will check the tiefling.
All right. The tiefling, well, I won't ask you to make a medicine check because as soon as you look at her closely, it's obvious she is still breathing, but she is unconscious.
We have one alive. Eh?
She's still alive.
Does anybody have a
well-
medicine kit? Can we revive her? At least enough to talk to us?
I will see what I can do.
She
I can keep her from dying, but not heal her too much. The body needs to do that on its own for the most part.
I can give her just a small bit of healing to see if she responds.
Oh, Let's try that.
Shall we let her down first?
Oh,
Awake
yes.
in a more comfortable position. Excuse me.
If someone else would like
absolutely.
to touch the shackles this time.
You're a little gun shy there.
Well, I just don't want to have to deal with the problems I cause.
Who does want to deal with the problems they cause? I'll do it.
As Persephone goes to touch the shackles, I immediately turn and keep my eyeballs on the room to see if anything's going to come out at us.
All right, make a perception check. Waiting on that perception check. All right. Well, Persephone reaches out and touches the shackles, and nothing happens. The woman groans a little bit, but she remains unconscious. The shackles are locked.
I'll try to break them again.
Very well. Rhimb, the dragonborn, steps forward.
Strength.
These are very similar to the shackles that were binding Klim. We're going to just do a straight strength check, please. something about the moist air down here has caused your scaly skin, to get uncomfortably wet, and you're not able to find a good purchase in which to brace yourself to break the chain.
Perhaps I can try.
Nice.
Indeed. So that was a strength save.
Oh, sorry.
Is there...
I just pressed the strength button.
Looks like it's the same.
The same modifier.
Is it the same? All right. Very well. That is...
Take that,
Excellent.
you rules lawyer! Take that!
Well, listen, the DM is supposed to be the rules lawyer.
Carry on then.
You feel pretty good about yourself, seeing this massive, muscle-bound dragonborn fail at this task, and you come forward, the half-elf, and with a keen eye, looking at the way the chain is put together. You grasp it and quickly pull it, and it snaps apart, and the tiefling falls into your arms, still unconscious.
With that, I'm going to use Lay on Hands for 1 point.
Some of her wounds close as a little radiance pours out of Silas's hands and settles into her, and she sighs. Just finish me off, don't you? Don't know anything else. Leave me alone.
There. You're safe now. For a moment.
Who are you?
We appear to be your liberators. We'll see if that's a good thing later. Yeah? Here, just sit down on the floor.
Very disoriented. She sits.
While she's sitting, I would like to try to get the other person hanging down.
All right, well, this other person is definitely dead.
Still, if that's her friend, she probably doesn't like to see him that way.
All right, make a strength check. How many points did you use on Lay on Hands?
1 point.
15 is enough, and you are able to break the chains of this poor unfortunate man. Vendetta is quietly weeping in the corner.
As we
Excuse me.
get the
tiefling
old man
is
down
quietly-
off.
The tiefling is... I've got to stop doing that. The tiefling, who, for some reason, his name...
Should have told you that.
Damn. All right, yes. The tiefling is now weeping quietly in the corner.
I begin to say a few prayers over the old man.
Very well.
Can I do a performance check for not singing a song, but to say like a eulogy? And with in mind, trying to make her feel a little at ease, and also just to honor him.
A eulogy would technically be a religion check. However, you can play some or say some soothing words, maybe
Yeah.
a poem of some sort.
That's kind of what I mean, like if I was reciting a sonnet or something.
Very well. Make a performance check. The tiefling looks up as you begin your recitation and seems a bit distracted from her plight, listening to your beautiful words. And she looks over and sees Falkrunn performing the eulogy on the dead man, and she just shakes her head. Oh, I think his name was Ephinox. He died 2 days ago. Just horrible people. They would come and whip us, then It would rub salt in our wounds. It was so painful.
Were they asking you questions, did you say?
Yes, they were. They wanted
What were they
information.
asking?
They were asking Ephanax here. Apparently, I think he works for the Jasso family somehow. And they were asking him questions about security arrangements, that sort of thing.
What were they asking you?
Similar. I serve drinks to the Orthlun Patriarch family, and I was attacked in the lower city a few days ago. Next thing I knew, I was here. They were asking about guards and things of that nature. I don't really know much, but I told them everything.
You did the right thing. You stayed alive.
Are you really here to save me?
It's not why we came down, but it's what we're going to do.
Thank you. Who are you people?
Well, I'm with the Flaming Fist myself, and these others have been sort of deputized for the moment.
The Flaming Fist? I've always treated me like shit, but I guess you're not all bad.
Me too, girl.
They are, but not this one.
You have my gratitude.
And what is your name, miss?
Vendetta Crest. If, is there a way out? I can't stay down here another second. Breathe this horrible air.
We just escorted another victim out safely.
Vendetta, where did your captors come from? Which door did they enter?
Well, sometimes they came from the door that you just came from. Sometimes they came from the door over there, and she points to the door in the northern wall. And sometimes I could hear a strange sound, like something heavy being pulled over stone. Stone on stone, a grinding, you know?
And where was that sound coming from?
From that door.
I know these might be difficult images to conjure in your mind, but could you describe exactly what they looked like, your captors? How many of them were there that would come and talk to you?
I tried to pay attention to that for a few days, but they all blurred together. There's some
Think back to day one. You're at the start. Who came to visit you?
There's some that had. They all had their right hands were all painted black. There was one with a big helmet. He was horrible. And I think I saw some strange people came through. They didn't do anything to me, but they wore these strange clothes, like funeral garb, or like sort of things that you'd see on a body that's being buried in a pauper's grave, you know, just sort of a shroud of some sort. They all carried skulls.
This sounds like the cultist of the Dead Three. The Black Hand. The skulls. This smells of Bane, Bhaal, and Myrkul.
I agree. Vendetta, we're going to get you out of here in just a few moments, but we're trying to at least cause damage, if not take down these cultists who did this to you. Is there any information that you can give us that might help us do that?
She furrows her brow and really looks like she's really concentrating. Splashing. I heard they would open that door, and I would hear the grinding sound, and then splashing, and then a moment later, the grinding sound again.
That's very helpful.
Anything. I'm so grateful. If you really are here to finish these horrible people off, then you have my support, but I'm not good in a fight. If you can...
Nor are we expecting you to fight Vendetta. We ask that you go ahead and stay behind us, and as we clear the rooms ahead, we'll go ahead and escort you through them.
I pull Falkrunn aside and say, we're not going to just take her out now?
You want her to walk back through the noxious chambers and the swamps and, stumble into whatever else is going to attack her?
Not alone. Not alone. I want to do what we did for that less than helpful gentleman before.
What?
The guy we just let out before the short rest. Am I wrong?
You are not wrong.
Okay.
I apologize. I nodded off after the zombie fight. What happened?
Two of us went back and got him out through the bathhouse.
He was still alive?
Oh yeah, he was hiding behind the altar. We told him to stay there. Remember?
That's impressive. I didn't think he'd make it. Well, clearly
might
crying
not-
God's
so
not
they-
at all.
Might not have made it. She might not have made it if you hadn't gone back to let him out. All right, so what are you doing?
It doesn't take long to go back. I say we escort her.
Absolutely. Any kindness we can offer this creature who has suffered so much? Absolutely.
There's no need to be racist. Name's Vendetta. I may be a tiefling, but I'm a citizen of Baldur's Gate just the same as anyone.
Apologies. We
Careful,
are all
this
creatures
one
before
sounds
the
like
crying
she holds
God.
a grudge.
That
was a joke.
Can I just say Vendetta is an awesome name?
Vendetta Cress is an awesome name.
That's a fucking awesome name.
Oh,
Yeah, for an NPC. Awesome job.
Yeah. She doesn't come back as like an assassin or a rogue. We're so sad.
She's been standing in the
suggest-
corner, sort of watching you all talk, just eyes wide.
I suggest that you two gentlemen do the same thing for her as you did for that rather dishonest man from earlier.
I can't help but think that, though it was a kindness, it may have been a mistake. We're lucky that we were able to find him and bring him out. However, going back and forth so frequently leaves both sides exposed, whereas going forward, we can deal with what we encounter as one. Does that make sense? The longer we linger here, the more we go back and forth, the more likely we are to be set upon by patrols or returning cultists or other nasty things.
At the very least, I'd like to stick
But if
together. Unless we have reason to split up. But
Protect her, certainly. However, splitting up...
We could all go back, or we could bring her with us as we go through. But I think if we leave her here in this state, then we are asking for the worst.
I think
she's
if
a
we just
brave-
allow her to follow us as we clear each room, as we move ahead, her captors came from both directions, which means they have entrance from either way.
So it seems like perhaps her choices are go back on her own or come forward with us, and maybe she could choose.
I would not send her on her own, but she's already offered to come with us if I'm not mistaken.
You look to her when you say that. It's just, yeah, I can come along behind. I understand. I want to get out, but I don't want to put anyone in danger. I'll just hang back, like, and be quiet in the corner.
Any of us in danger. Quite the opposite, in fact. You're quite a brave soul to offer to do so. I thank you. And no, may you feel bolstered by the fact.
Nice.
Well, that's a great perception check. You can't hear anything at first. But then you hear slightest sound of a just like someone just idly clearing their throat. And it doesn't sound like it's coming from directly behind the door, but somewhat nearby.
Friends, we are not alone.
The sounds that she was speaking of earlier, a grinding stone, splashing of water, and a grinding stone again.
Mm-hmm.
For whatever reason, that popped up in my mind. Image of a slab being pulled over, and there was water underneath it, and then pushed back.
I would bet my dwarven braid it was a door.
Perhaps a hidden one.
And maybe one in the floor?
We'll keep an eye out, nonetheless.
Agreed.
Well, friends, forward.
Very
Forward.
careful. I hear someone beyond that door.
Who opens the door?
I will.
You open the door.
I'll back up.
It is not locked. You see what looks to be torchlight coming from something around this corner. And I would say you've just opened the door and taken a step and peeked around the corner.
As we continue, Zambion, can I kind of keep a hand on one or other side of the wall, kind of feel for seams and inspect the walls for
Sure.
that kind of hidden spot?
It will affect the pace at which you travel, but you can't. I mean, you're going to be. I mean, you're just idly touching it, or are you really making a search each time you take a step?
Well, based on if she heard it through a closed door, it sounds like it's close. So I'd like to, search the next, 20 feet or so for some type of secret door. And sort
Okay.
of investigate the walls.
Can I also go ahead and try to use my stone cunning in any way to sort of suss out?
Absolutely. Stone cunning, I believe, would give you advantage on checking for secret doors.
It allows me to double my proficiency bonus.
Excellent.
Ooh.
Well,
Aren't we
so
fancy?
you see Typhon sort of reaching out and touching the walls, and you shake your head. He's like, he's just doing it wrong. So, all right, Dorin, you take another step, and you are positive that there is some source of light not too far around this corner, illumining the area before you.
I just look back at the others and I put 3 fingers up, 2, 1, and then I run around the corner.
All right.
I think I got the
Excellent.
message.
He wants 3 apples. No, 2 apples. No, what? He doesn't want any apples.
Get away from me, those
You
apples.
come around the corner. Very good.
And I mean, I'm loud, so I'm just gonna keep charging until I see something to
All
hit.
right. Well, as soon as you get to that corner, you see exactly what is causing the light. It is a cultist holding a torch. And one moment here, I will move him to the proper lair. And there he is. He is utterly surprised by you coming around the corner. Roll initiative, but he is surprised.
All right.
That goes for everybody.
Remember to
Please
select
roll.
the tokens as you roll.
Indeed. Indeed.
Always forget that part.
Alrighty, let's get that initiative tracker up. Okay. Let's see, do we have everybody? Dorin,
I
Typhon,
rolled
Persephone,
3
Falkrunn,
times, but I don't see it up.
Did you have your...
Did you select the token, and was there a pop-up in Roll20 for advantage?
There you are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. First up, it appears we have Dorin, which is fitting.
You need to sort.
I don't
descending,
think
Sean.
you ordered them. Yeah, sorry.
Oh. Stupid things. How's that? That's still wrong.
Edit. Point. That's correct. No, it's still not.
That's correct.
There we go.
There it is. Okay, so Persephone, you're first. You see Dorin holding up his fingers, and you know exactly what that means. And you are good to go. What do you do?
Can I get to here even if I have to go around my compatriots?
It will cost you 2 points of movement to move through every occupied space.
So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So no.
Unless you use your entire action to move, then you can.
I don't want to clog up the space. I'm going to ready an action. As soon as I can see who we're fighting, I'm going to shoot a crossbow bolt.
All right, so you are going to fire a crossbow bolt at the first enemy you see.
Correct.
All right, that is a held action for Persephone. Dorin, you are next.
Move on up, and I assume there's no one right next to him.
That is correct. Once you get to that spot, you are able to see a little bit into the hallway behind him, or hallway next to him.
All right, I'm gonna do booming blade then. Or wait, did it? Okay, so I a 12 to hit.
All right, he's wearing chainmail armor, and that 12 does not succeed.
Oh no! All right.
Is that your turn?
Yeah.
Falkrunn.
Going to actually turn my mic on there. I'm going to go ahead and move to here so I can see him. And then I'm going to toll the dead.
Right. Keep in mind that you'll be rolling a d8 for damage because he's yet to take damage.
Truth. And
All right.
mm.
So that is a wisdom save.
Mhm.
He fails.
Ha
So he takes 5 points of necrotic damage. Once again, the sound of a unearthly bell. Bong! It's rather loud.
Mm-hmm. Takes its
And
toll.
It takes its toll. Negative inspiration for the horrible pun.
Welcome to my quarantine, folks.
Very nice. Good. Are you done, Falkrunn? Falkrunn, are you done?
I am. I am indeed.
Oh, all right. Rhimb, your turn.
I will ready an action. I won't be able to. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, I can't. I can't get there in order to make a shot. There's too many people in the way. So I'm going to ready.
All right.
I'm going to ready
Readying an action. Very good. Silas?
Would I be able to move to an unoccupied space beyond
Let's
my
see.
compatriots?
You cannot move diagonally around a corner, and you cannot move through an enemy space unless you are a size bigger or smaller than it. So I would say the answer to that question is no.
Then I'm going to just charge and attempt a shove.
Oh, okay.
That would allow me to move through my
It would.
companion space, and if successful, then I would push the person, right?
Yes. Give me one moment to look up the rules for shove. I think they're pretty straightforward, as I recall, but...
Well, take your time, because I've not done that before either. So neither one of us knows what we're doing, and we can edit this out.
Okay, are you sure you don't want to shovel?
I'm sure I don't want to shovel. Search algorithms
Okay.
be damned. Shove.
Okay. Right. Using the attack action. Let's see. It'd be nice if I could post this somehow.
You can. There you go.
Thank you, Typhon.
So sweet.
Now can I
Nice
see
if
what
there was
shoveling the
wizards.
creature looks like?
Yes.
Shoveling. I can dig it.
Oh, God. Just deeper and deeper, Falkrunn.
Oh yeah, dig it.
All right. The only problem with that is that in order to do that, it looks like you would have to end your movement in an ally's space because you don't actually continue moving when you push. So, this is a perfect example of a perfect thing in the rule that I posted today. So what you will do is you will use your action to prepare to ready an action. Ready the action is going to be the shove, and the trigger will be entering your ally's space. Clear so far?
Yeah.
What happens if he fails?
Two squeezing things.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We'd have
Then-
disadvantage on
Then
everything.
you have disadvantage on everything, exactly.
Sure.
Do you have the movement to get to Dorin's space and still have movement left over?
Yes, that's exactly half my movement.
Keep in mind that it costs extra to move through ally spaces.
I think it would take him 25 to get there, so he'd have another 5.
All right, great. So, because you'll have movement left over, I will allow you to take the 5-foot adjustment as part of your triggered action. So, your action is preparing the action of shoving. You use your movement to move into Doran's space. Which sets off the triggered action, which is the shove attack. Are you going to shove him back or shove him down?
Let's say back 1 square, 5 feet.
All right. Roll it. This would be an athletics check. Unfortunately, you did not beat his strength. He rolled a 15.
All right.
So, you are now in Doran's space, you are squeezing, and all actions you do will be at disadvantage. Excuse me. Let's see.
Oh,
that
yeah,
is
we
the
got, we got tactics.
Yeah. Yes, we do. Now it is the Fist of Banes. The Bane cultist. he begins to yell, "Intruders! Intruders! Intruders!" And he runs
crap.
this way, incurring an attack of opportunity from Silas and Dorin, both at disadvantage.
Was he? Did we have a surprise round? Or no?
Well, he was surprised.
Okay, lowercase s.
No big case S.
Oh, okay.
I ruled that it was a surprise round. Thank you for the reminder, Typhon. You're right. He was surprised. So all of this has happened, and he has yet to find his tongue. So, Typhon, your turn.
Wow, what a cluster around the corner here. I'm
You have
going to
no shot at all.
no 3/4, nothing.
Now, with the corner and both Silas and Dorin and Falkrunn in your way, you are unable to get a clean shot at the Fist of Bane.
Okay.
Could he attempt to like toss me out of the way?
You'll have to toss him.
You could do what I said that Silas wanted to do, which was use your reaction as a triggered held action that goes off when you move into your ally space.
I will do so.
All right, so what action are you holding?
Chill touch.
Chill touch. You move into Falkrunn's space. Excellent. Chill touch, that hits. 3 necrotic damage. And now, as part of your held action, because you had movement left over from your initial move, you can now make a 5-foot adjustment so that you do not end in Falkrunn's space. Which you have done.
Right. So I'll just move back.
Back 5 feet. All good.
That's my complete movement, so I'm there.
Excellent. You are done. Back to the top of the order. Persephone, your your held action dissipates because you did not see an opponent.
Okay. I'm going to move to here and ready the same action.
All right.
Because I have no line of sight there, correct?
If you wish, you can do the same thing that your allies have been doing, which is prepare your reaction as a held action. Move through your. Let's see. Gosh, back 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, yeah, you will not be able to end your this turn in an unoccupied space, which means that you are not able to do what it is you want.
And that is because I started back here.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I would have done that if I hadn't been so far away. So I will just ready an action in case I see someone.
Very well.
Crossbow.
Dorin.
Well, it's a bit close quarters in here, but I'll take another swing with Booming Blade. Did that work? My roll 20 is once again going
It
nuts.
just popped up.
Okay.
There it is.
Okay,
See,
so
you crit.
19 with disadvantage, right?
A disadvantage with 19. The 19 hits, and this was with you're still holding the shield, correct?
Yep. So,
So
6
6
damage,
points of slashing.
and then if he moves, he
Right.
gets a booming blade, some thunder damage.
Cool.
He's not looking so hot. You manage to elbow Silas out of the way and slash him as he's trying to find a way to defend himself against this surprise onslaught. Falkrunn.
Toll the dead.
He has taken damage, so roll that d12.
Can and will.
Once again, there is a loud ringing sound fills the hall, but he manages to resist.
All right, and I'm going to go ahead and take my movement and shuffle back, so that'll be to there.
All right.
I can do that.
You can. Rhimb.
I will move forward, and I'll still hold the shot for when there's an opportunity.
All right. Silas.
I'm going to step back.
Oh,
Excellent. You move out of his threatened space. He has the option now to take a opportunity attack on either you or Dorin, but he chooses you, Silas. He uses a mace, hitting AC 22.
I smelled a crit coming. He hits.
6 bludgeoning damage.
oofed.
That is Silas. So you've moved back. Do you wish to attack?
Yes, I have reach. You said 6 damage?
Yes. He, as you get out of the space where Dorin is, you misjudge a step, and as Dorin is following through with his swing of his sword, you have to duck back in order to avoid being sliced, and it puts you right in the way of the mace of this Baneite. The 21 definitely hits.
Oof.
With that, you are able to dispatch this creature. The final
Before
blow
he
is
yelled
yours.
for alarm.
Before he yelled for alarm. The final blow is yours, Silas.
I stab him, he falls down.
Come now. Fine.
Save it for boss fights.
All right.
Pierce his throat. Pierce his throat.
After being whacked in the back by the mace, you stumble forward, whirl around, spin Oranian in the air with like some bojitsu stuff, and bring the sharp end right down on the man's skull, splitting it in two. And that is the end of combat.
And, sorry, just to clarify, he did not scream for help.
He did not. However, there were 2 loud bongs.
The dolorous bells ringing.
Although,
Don't worry, it's just 2 o'clock, that's all.
oddly, those 2 loud bongs don't seem to have alerted anyone.
I kind of look back at the crew and I say, "Well, we keep fighting in tight corridors. I'm useless at any sort of range, so I'm happy to keep taking the lead. If more of you who can shoot from a distance want to stay in the back, I'd appreciate it. And Silas can fight from behind me." That does seem to work best, unless anyone has issue with that.
No, that seems wise. I wouldn't mind being third in line because my ranged attack, while possible, is very much less effective.
We'll work with that.
Works for me.
Just a quick examination of this corner. It is indeed just a corner, yes?
It is indeed just a corner. Unless you roll an investigation check.
I'd love to just cram the dead cultist of Bane into the corner.
You do so. Typhon, what is your passive investigation?
15.
That is enough, especially with the bonus I gave you for carefully moving your hand. As you reach this location, you become aware of an inconsistency in the stonework.
I believe I found something here before we move on.
And
Perhaps the sound of this stone scraping. Miss Falkrunn, if you would care to take a look.
while
we-
Falkrunn looks, could I investigate the cultist body? Just see what's on it?
Sure.
Will be my pleasure.
Here you said, Sean.
Yes, I did. Let's take care of these things one at a time. Persephone, you find a bag of 3 silver pieces and 9 copper pieces. 3 shards and 9 nibs. He has the torch, which he dropped during the fight and has gone out, and he has chainmail and a mace. And like all of the other cultists of Bane that you have discovered down here, his right hand is painted black. I see you've done some lay on hands there.
Yeah, I just kind of healed myself up since I incurred that attack of opportunity to get cut again. Healed myself up just a bit.
Indeed. All right, Falkrunn. Oh, I'm sorry. Persephone,
I was just going to say I pocket the money, but I tell everyone what I found.
Okay.
So.
Right. Falkrunn, roll an investigation check, please. Remember to double your. So you're adding. Go ahead.
Can I provide the help action since I identified the?
Yes, definitely. That makes perfect sense. So you get to roll with it. That can't be right.
If you roll a 1 and you have a -1, I guess it's.
Yeah. Oh. Apparently, I got overzealous with my rules.
Well.
Wow.
Typhon knows there's something there. They just can't tell what it is.
Right.
Yeah.
Falkrunn,
Should have done this the other way around.
So,
as far as you know, Typhon is just full of bullshit. There's no possible way that there could be any kind of a secret door. You know secret doors, and this ain't one. What do you do?
I got nothing.
All right.
I poke my head back around. Well, there's another room
Go
here.
ahead.
Let's clear it out before we focus too much, yeah?
What was that? What were you going to say there? Go ahead.
Just give it a couple of taps on the stone, see if I can hear if it's got that hollow sound behind it.
Oh, all right.
Careful.
Make a perception check.
Hopefully, it's higher than my investigation check.
Well, because you failed your investigation check, something about the echoing down in here, it doesn't quite work as far as the way stone should. You're definitely not getting the right kind of ringing from this, but you're pretty sure you'd get that same kind of ringing from any of the stones that you tapped on down here. However, you shush everyone, and you can swear that you hear the sounds of metal hitting metal. It almost sounds like combat, and it's coming from this wall.
There's a
Why don't you
fight.
just push really hard?
There's a fight in the wall. I'm gonna go ahead and try to I'm gonna put my hands on it and then see if it'll give a little bit.
All right, make a strength check.
Lovely. Not a saving throw, but a strength check.
I suppose this would actually be it. Well, 3 strength checks. No, 2 strengths. The
Just
first
two,
one,
just two.
we'll go with the first. The first one is enough. You push against this wall, and it does give a little bit. It's stone, but it's moving. And now you realize Typhon was right. There is a secret door here. You do a little further investigating, and you find that there is a brick right next to the secret door that is protruding a little bit. You press on it, and with a grinding, scraping sound, this entire section of the wall begins to sink into the floor.
You see that one night class the night surgeon took in ceramics paid off.
That's summer abroad.
Indeed. The slab descends into the ground, revealing a short staircase, and the light reflecting from your light spell, Falkrunn, reveals water. And now you're all quite clearly can hear the sounds of fighting.
I will turn to Persephone and say, I believe you wanted to go third. After you.
Thank you kindly. And
Dorin, looks like we have a different path to take.
Ah, wider, 2 by 2. Look at that.
I'm going to step forward and test the water to see if there's a floor. Oh, Negrosalis.
well, they had said they wanted to go first a little bit earlier. Yeah.
Dorin.
I know, but given Doran's penchant for drowning, I thought we'd spare him that, but all right.
Sorry, my roll 20 is kind of laggy, and it takes a while to catch up with what everyone's doing.
Oh, not a problem, not a problem. Come on up and test the water.
I'll do the old barbarian trap finding.
Mm-hmm. Make a perception check, please.
Which I think looks a little bit like Bugs Bunny over a cliff with his toe.
I think so, yeah.
As long as it doesn't turn into Wile E. Coyote at the bottom of the cliff.
All
Hi,
right,
kids. We're all
Check.
old here.
Take a second.
Seasoned. We're seasoned. Waiting on that perception check there, Dorin.
Yeah, I clicked it. I'm probably going to get a couple.
Okay.
That's okay.
Well, in the meantime, as the heavy slab sinks into the floor,
There you go.
the unmistakable sounds of battle greet your ears. Light flickers against the far wall from a source that's out of view. There is a sickening, crunching sound, followed by an incoherent moan from a shadowy figure that stumbles around the corner. His hands clutching his head. Before he falls, face first into the water, the sounds of battle continue.
Can we perceive from that far away if he had a black painted hand?
Well, he's now lying in the water.
Okay.
How deep is the water? Are we...
Yeah, can we
It's 2 feet. And Dorin, you were not able to determine... Well, okay, perception check. Technically, it was a perception check. However, on the failed perception check, you would have just fallen in, and you didn't. So there's obviously floor there.
Well, I'm just going to start walking slowly, like motioning for the others to follow me, I guess. And start heading that way. I don't know, whoever wants to come up next to me.
I will be parallel moving forward with Dorin.
put myself parallel to Persephone since she's up third?
All right. Again, the water is
Stop it.
2 feet. Water is 2 feet deep, so it comes up quite a bit further on you, Falkrunn, than it does on the rest of your companions. You are those of you with dark vision can see very easily. Those of you without, the light from Falkrunn's spell plus the light from whatever is flickering from around the corner are illuminating this area quite well. Again, the beams you see in the middle are holding up beams that are affixed to the ceiling. And as you move there, thank you, Silas.
Did we bring that the tiefling with us?
Vendetta.
Yes,
She was to be following behind us.
Indeed, she was, and she has been. She got a little frightened at the sound of battle, but She has recovered her courage, and she moves around the corner with you all.
Perhaps we should make haste and make the most out of an advantageous situation that we hear coming.
Yes, you hear the sounds of fighting, grunts, sounds of steel hitting steel, and another cry.
As we're quickly moving past it floating, do we recognize its outfit, its clothing, its colors, anything of that? Yeah?
Well, the dark vision, you cannot see colors, but with the light, you can. So, make a perception check. I mean, do you actually stop to lift the body out of the water? He's lying down face first.
No, just as a, like, if it's Superman, we could spot it, right? If it's Spider-Man, we could spot it.
He's not Superman or Spider-Man. He is he's not wearing chainmail.
Is it dead? Is it a dead body too, or just? I don't know how long it took. It looks like they just face planted into the water. Can we?
Indeed. This is not one of the Baneites that you've been fighting so far as you can tell, Silas. The sounds of battle are continuing, and you hear a grunt from around the corner. This man has a massive head wound. Part of his face has been crushed, and his eye has distended from his face and is lying. You flip over the body, and it's lying on his cheek.
Dead.
All dead.
Right. So we hurry on, I think.
Yeah, we wheel around and get in there.
All right. Give me a moment to reveal things here. All right. Do that. There we go. You see the room continuing much as it has. The flooded chamber opens up with rough-hewn steps climbing to the south here and to the north here.
I can't see anything you're doing when you say here.
Ah, yes. I'm so sorry. Reveal. There we go. Doop. And so when I said the south, I was referring to this area here. When I said the north, I was referring to that area up there. Very good.
Are you pointing or clicking or something?
I just did the ping. Did it not show up?
Yeah, he did a ping. I saw it.
Very good.
Thanks. All right. The floor buckles up above the waterline in the middle of the room, forming a small island. Corpses and doused torches float in the water around the island, atop which two men circle each other with weapons bared. One of the men, a tall, unarmored brute with a great club and a scarred face, towers above his opponent, but is gravely wounded. The smaller figure is a muscular man and bare-chested. He clutches a bloody dagger in one hand and a torch in the other, and has no flesh covering his skull. They're circling each other. They don't appear to have noticed you.
No flesh covering his skull, like that's the creepy kind of guy he is, or he's been wounded.
It definitely looks like he is not. It's not a wound that has stripped his skin. He is a hale and hardy man, muscular, who happens to have a skull for a head.
Extreme body mods.
Jeez.
Ketogenic diet.
That's what happens when you start gauging your ears. It's the next thing along the line.
I'm just going to keep a steady pace forward.
All right. Move yourself.
I'm following, yeah.
All right, you all come. You get closer, and they continue to circle each other. One moment here.
Can we see
Is this
either
John
of their
Williams?
hands?
No, this is Prokofiev. No, sorry, this is Shostakovich, not Prokofiev.
I'm ashamed.
All right, give me a second to make a couple of rolls, if you don't mind.
I do mind.
I'll allow it.
Oh, well, that's okay then.
So, I mean, you all are you're just watching. Is that correct?
I'm looking to see if I can see either of their hands.
I'm holding an action if anything approaches us viciously to kill it.
All right. Silas is holding action.
We are. Oh, sorry, I wasn't listening very closely. I would caution against. Well, perhaps we found an ally here. One of them certainly looks like our enemy, the other not so much. Perhaps we should eliminate one threat and see if the other can be a friend. If not, there's one less to dispatch.
You speak wisely, Typhon.
This
Sounds
fellow,
logical to me.
the large man, has an immense club, and he brings it down on top of the man standing here with the skull for a head. But the man dodges out of the way. In return, this man attacks. He slices the larger man just a tiny bit along his arm. However, blood gushes out as if it was flying towards something. And the large man groans. Ah!
I'm going to toll the dead on the skull guy.
All right, roll initiative.
Let's kill him.
Oh. All right. Select.
Come now. Why will you work for me? There we go.
Who does number 2 work for?
All right. Let's see. Do we have everyone?
Yes, indeed.
Typhon. First up, we have Typhon.
I will cast a spell to attempt to disable him.
Who are you casting the spell on?
The skull dude.
Right. What says the save on this?
Wisdom.
Wisdom, and your casting is 13, I believe?
Yes.
He saves. You send out the spell's energy and it coalesces in your hand, but right when you think you're about to cast it, he dodges out of the way and you're unable to find the target. Next we have
That's it.
the large... do you wish to move? Typhon, do you wish to move?
No,
Yes.
I will
No.
stay back.
Okay. All right. Then the large fellow attacks. Once again, his great club whizzes through the air, landing, splashing in the water, missing his target. Dorin, your turn.
I actually hadn't rolled initiative, or it didn't go through, so I should be after Falkrunn.
After Falkrunn, okay.
Yeah,
I will.
I corrected it. So.
Ah, I see. It was added just after. So if you sort, Sean, it'll fix it.
Sort. Just do descending again?
It's perfect. It's ready.
Okay. So, Falkrunn, your turn.
Falkrunn is strangely quiet, as though muted.
Who cast silence?
Having a moment of silent contemplation, Falkrunn casts Toll of the Dead. Is there any way for me to know if this guy's injured?
Make a medicine check.
The knight.
As far as you can tell, he is woundless.
Can't find the door, but I can certainly find a wound. All right, then.
I feel as though Persephone wants everyone to know that you can find neither a door nor a wound. Cameras.
He saves. Dorin, now it is your turn.
All right, I'll rush on up and do another booming. All right, I rolled it. Give it a second. I wish I knew why my roll 20 was so laggy.
I would not be able to help you with that. That is definitely not my forte. There we go.
All right,
Nice.
the first
You come
one.
running?
Yep, 20.
Mortlock looks at you with the confusion and then grits his teeth. This man is huge. He's got a barrel chest, tremendous scarring down one side of his face. And he looks at you and just and redoubles his efforts to attack. Your blow lands on the creature here. And he saw you coming, but he wasn't paying that much attention. And your longsword hits, doing 5 slashing.
Sorry, 8. Should have been the first one.
Should have been the first one. All right. 6, 8. Okay.
And that will be it for me.
Very good. Next we have Silas.
Yes, I'm going to move forward. And attack.
Very good. That hits. Roll your damage.
Huzzah.
Excellent.
Oh, very nice.
Nice.
The blade comes slashing down, and at the last second, the man turns and looks at you, and the eyes behind the skull flash. He holds out his hand, and the blade passes right through him, doing no damage at all. And then he turns back to fighting this fellow. That is the end of Silas's turn. Next we have Persephone.
I'm gonna cast Vicious Mockery on him.
All right. What do you say?
I say, wouldn't it be nice if you still had your nose?
There's a sound, and doesn't seem to have taken the effect that you wanted it to have. Now that-
And I'm gonna get a
you're
little
done?
closer.
You get a little
That's
closer.
it. I just got a little closer.
Very good. Now that he has taken attacks from Dorin and Silas and Persephone and the entire group, with the exception of Rhimb, This fellow looks up, looks around. He takes the disengage action and runs through this door.
He takes booming blade damage.
He does. How much?
Let's find out. 7.
He stumbles a bit as the concussive sound of the booming blade does its work. But he still moves, unless there's something that stops him from moving.
Nope.
All right. This man, right here. Combat has ended for the brief moment. Where'd he go?
And he disappeared.
He did indeed. Really
Combat
strange.
has ended for him completely.
There we go. Thank you. Who are you?
Well, Flaming Fist, give or take.
First. I'm Mortlock Vanthampur. These bastards betrayed me. If you help me defeat that piece of shit Vaaz, I'll tell you anything you want to know about this place.
Works for me.
And will you be accompanying us in this?
Absolutely.
Vanthampur?
Let's chase our skull boy then.
He is quite wounded. He's clutching the wound on his arm that is still bleeding much more than it should be from such a small cut. But he's breathing heavily and he's still raring to go.
Would anyone recognize this badge that he appears to have?
No, that is a badge that identifies him as a member of the upper city, the Patriarchs, but not any specific house. However, those of you who call Baldur's Gate your home recognize the name Vanthampur immediately. Falkrunn Boneforge is one of the Council of Four, who are the ruling body of Baldur's Gate. Grand Duke Ravengard, who was the head of the Flaming Fist and is now missing, was the Grand Duke. He was the leader of the Council of Four, with three patriarchs under him, known as the Three Dukes, and the four of them together comprise the government of Baldur's Gate. So this is Mortlock Vanthampur. Apparently, he is related in some way to one of the rulers of the city.
I'm going to go ahead and examine the wound, see if there's anything I can do to help it.
Make a medicine check.
I will help.
Very good. Roll with advantage.
I will see if I can tell where that thing went that somehow evaded my blow, which should have taken its life.
You come to that, and you look through, and you can see torchlight coming from. Let me see here. I will reveal some area for you. But there is torchlight emanating from this direction.
Can we see in this area too? Since we're...
Yes, you can. That goes up a small flight of stairs, and you can see in a dugout area there several chests. Let's see, that medicine check. Yes, indeed, Falkrunn. He is wounded. Several of them appear to be quite serious. If he takes too many more hits, he will not be able to stand.
Does anybody have any healing to offer the gentleman? It
I'm
looks
fine.
like he'll be useful in our fight.
I'm fine. Let's get going.
We'll keep him
First-
alive if he gets too close.
Dorin,
Do you,
let's go.
Do you know
Right.
why that blow went through him? Do weapons work against him?
He's one of the favored of Bhaal. All kinds of tricks.
Understood.
I'm going to go ahead and channel my divinity and heal him for 10.
All right. Ugh. My thanks. All right.
You are most welcome.
Right. As Silas, you move around the corner there, you're able to see the rest of this room. One moment. Burned torch stubs litter the floor of this hall, the western end of which is occupied by 3 6-foot-tall painted wooden statues. Each statue stands atop a 2-foot-high block of red stone, making it look taller and foreboding. The center statue The center statue resembles a heavily armored man whose face is hidden behind the fearsome visor of his helmet. He's painted red, except for his right gauntlet, which is black. Clutched in this gauntlet is a blood-red spear pointing upward. The statue to the north depicts a purple-garbed male noble wearing a harlequin mask and holding a dagger behind his back. The statue to the south portrays a black-robed skeleton with its jaw open wide and its bony hands outstretched.
Could we make an assumption?
And standing in front of the Bane statue is this man. You believe Mortlock referred to him as Vaaz. He takes a step forward and holds out a hand holding a dagger. He's got a dagger in each hand, and he just makes a motioning come on motion. And was everybody in position? Roll initiative. Just a second. I need to remove all turns. All right. There we go. Now we can roll initiative. Cute. All right.
And while that's getting sorted, could we assume, based on the notoriety of these 3 figures, they're fairly well known, that everyone entering would immediately recognize those 3 statues or who they are intended to represent?
Yes. The topic has come up several times now about this being the lair of the dead 3 cultists, and Bane being the one wearing the mask with the black hand, Bhaal being the one wearing the harlequin mask holding the dagger behind his head, and Myrkul being the one were dressed in robes with the skull, arms outstretched.